Yeah, he'd be here by now. Yeah, true. Reverse it, yeah, we could.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Like and share if you would. You know, that's what makes this thing kick off. We're absolutely surprised, shocked that we're still on YouTube and we haven't been kicked off. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. My co-host,
OG.
the other Mel.
I'm not going to give my full name anymore.
Good evening and welcome to Texas Biker Radio number 455. Unbelievable.
Lord.
And, you know, tonight we're going to start out with a message to the guys in Region 2 and other regions here in Texas, where we have bills before the state legislature, and these bills, there's going to be a CTA coming out on these really pretty soon, from what I understand, and it's going to be for HB 1838, and that has to do a bill with the gang database, and also HB 2967, that is the gun bill. In other words, carrying a firearm and not getting in trouble over it because you are maybe in a situation where you're in a gang database and you shouldn't be there. Just saying, there may be other problems with that. We'll try and get Clutch here on the show one night and go over this really good.
Well, yeah, this gang database thing, the paperwork that we've seen, they print right on the top of it that it is not to be used as evidence in a court of law.
Exactly.
Just because your name might be listed in a gang database does not mean you are necessarily guilty of anything.
Yes.
Which makes the whole database look stupid to begin with, but there needs to be clarification in the legislation that was signed, and the nimwit governor that signed it without looking at it
right
and examining it, you'd think he'd have some personnel on hand that would be reading this stuff and making sure it's appropriate and correct before he signs it.
Here's what happens in the legislature. You know, they pass these bills because the DPS and others are out there pushing these bills, and they pass them without knowing the consequences of their actions, and especially when it comes to your constitutional rights. That's what we're saying. And this call to action is going to be about contacting your senators and your representatives, contacting them and asking them to support these bills. Now is the time, everybody. Now is the time to get this done. And we need to get them out of committee and to the House floor so they can be voted on, so they can be passed, and then on to the governor. And then we'll see what he does.
You never know. He might surprise us. But then again,
I know. I know. But if enough heat is put on them, everybody, if enough heat is put on them, these bills will pass. And that means you and I have to make some phone calls. ASAP, make some phone calls, because there's a short period of time left in this legislative session. Just a little bit over a month.
And the phone calls are easy. I've made them. You don't get put through to the representative. You're talking to somebody in the office. All you got to say is, tell so-and-so, whoever it is you're calling, that one of his constituents called, and he needs to know I'm in favor of whatever, House bill, whatever, or I am not in favor of. And that's it. That's a sum total of the conversation.
Yeah.
What we're looking for is the count. If they get enough phone calls, and let's be honest here, they don't know if you're really a constituent or not.
Yeah.
But you make sure you tell him his constituent called, and somebody in there is doing tallies and letting them know how many phone calls they're getting on whatever subject, and they will tend to react to that because that means votes to them. And if they get enough phone calls in support of something or not in support of something, they're going to react accordingly, or they know they will pay the devil his dues come election time.
Yeah. So let's start taking some action and get this done. Get this done this legislative session. And I know you guys in Region 2 have heard me say, the guys that have been doing the bulk of the work in Austin have been doing a yeoman's job. They've been great. And now is the time for us to give them a hand. And it's like OG said, it's as simple as a phone call. And it won't take 5 minutes.
Takes less effort than an email.
Yeah. Matter of fact is, the phone call is easier than sitting down and writing out an email. It surely is. So let's get it done, guys. Let's get it done in all regions across Texas. Of Texas Defenders and the COCI. And I don't care what you think about the COCI. They are a good motorcycle rights organization. And they are doing a great job. So, oh man, Mel. Law enforcement's taking a beating. Literally.
Sometimes you just don't know what to say. However, you know, there are cases, I believe, where there is police brutality. There are cases where some of these knotheads should never have been given a gun and a badge. However, I honestly believe the greatest percentage. I mean, let's talk about Floyd for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a hell of a subject. Should Floyd have died? No, he should not have. But how responsible was Floyd for his own death to begin with? All he had to do was comply. Put his hands behind his back, get cuffed, get put in the car, keep your mouth shut, go to jail, get a hold of a lawyer, and get the hell out of jail. When you start resisting, you're going to get beat up, you're going to get maced, you're going to get shot, you name it, but you are setting the stage for your own demise.
Yes.
Relative to what happened, I think the cop was railroaded. I honestly do, and I think what's going to happen here is he's probably going to get the whole thing thrown out because of the conduct of some elected officials.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the local news media, failure to change venue, the over-eagerness of the prosecution. Should the officer have been punished to some degree?
Yep.
I believe so. I believe so. You know, when you take somebody into custody, you want to get them there alive, if at all possible. But again, remember, you know, every one of these cases that we're seeing where people are being shot or dying some way is because they resisted.
Yeah.
You know, and that's going to get you nowhere fast.
You know, OG, and the resistance comes from a lot of reasons. You know,
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
And I can't go to jail again.
Right. And, you know, well, I'll look at it this way. Black youths, black youths have not been trained by their parents or parent to respect the law, and they have an attitude that they don't have to obey. And you know, we have progressive politicians, corporations, sports leagues, mainstream media, and outright thugs that are protesting every night that sets the stage for this crap to happen.
Well, plus which the media doesn't help at all.
Exactly.
You know, they lie their asses off. I was watching a news broadcast the other night, and they were having some kind of a discussion about being racist and all that garbage that you hear about now. And they were talking about, in this one particular area where this officer was in trouble, they were looking at his record, and they were saying, okay, only 30% of the population of the patrol area this officer's in is black. However, 60% of his arrests are black.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they're inferring is because that portion of the population is only 30%, his arrest rate should have only been 30%, and we all know that's a crock. I mean, it's a well-known fact that crime rates are higher in the black community because it's mostly black on black. And there's a lot of publicized reasons for that. Most of what you hear is there's not a man in the house.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of those households that are single parent moms trying to raise these kids. They're poor as hell, and these kids are out of control. They don't have an old man to smack them around when they need it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not talking racial crap here. I'm just talking, hey, it's common sense. But the media likes to play with the numbers, and we get fed the line of crap. And now, I mean, try watching any TV show with any kind of a situation going on, and I'm talking whether it's a fireman series, a medical series, or whatever, they're throwing this racist bullshit right in your face every damn thing, or every time you watch an episode. It's just over and over and over, and it is getting really tiring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hell, what that may be called is common sense parenting.
Absolutely. They need to bring out, I can remember when I was a little kid over at a friend's house, he pissed off his mom and she made him go out in the backyard and get a willow switch.
Oh, yeah.
You do that shit today and that parent ends up in jail.
Yeah.
So, and look at what's going on in society. We're screwed.
I know.
Because these kids know no boundaries. They know no consequences.
Exactly.
So, these cops have a losing job.
They are damned if they do and damned if they don't.
And it's only going to get worse. Now it's being exacerbated by the fact that you've got a police department where their entire SWAT teams have resigned.
Yeah.
And they're taking officers out of the academy before graduation. Now, most of the training is piss poor now anyway.
Right.
So, it's only going to get worse, folks. You can look forward to worse things going on, because now you're going to have a bunch of untrained rookies out there that are going to pull a gun quick and start shooting because they're scared to death.
OG, the one thing that we can all agree on, that none of this crap that's going on is coming from bikers. None of it. And that says a lot. It really does.
Yep.
And the police and law enforcement in general are taking a real ass whipping all over the country.
It's brutal.
Because of the flames that are being fanned by these groups I mentioned earlier. I mean, they're getting beat up every night. And then they turn around and want them to protect them.
Yep. They're being defunded. What's interesting is they're being defunded by a faction of the population that doesn't necessarily need police protection, because they live in the types of neighborhoods that are gated communities.
Oh, yes.
They've got security guards. They're not worried. The real problem is you get into these poorer neighborhoods, they damn sure need the police protection. But hey, I got news for you. And I've talked to a few cops. There are calls they get, they don't even go in anymore. They avoid it. Or they damn sure take their time, so whatever evil is being perpetrated is going to be done and over with by the time they get there. And trust me, if they see a body laying on the sidewalk, they'll probably just roll by and radio it in to send a coroner.
Yeah. Hey, OG, and let me add one more thing to that mix of calling our representatives. If you want open carry in Texas, you better start dialing, and dialing now. Just what I'm saying, everybody. Just what I'm saying. Hey, OG, I want to see this. If we can get it to work, I want to show this here, how bold they are. And so let's try this thing. Watch this. He hits that cop upside the head with a stick of some sort. And then watch this other cop. He looks back to see if he's got reinforcements coming. I mean, hey, I'm chasing a black guy I'm chasing a black guy, and I better be careful
Yeah.
about what I'm doing. Even though he smacked the hell out of that detective that was looking
Now,
at a glass window that was broke.
my opinion,
Yeah.
they ought to shoot the son of a bitch.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, but
That's-
you know what they would have done.
That's a consequence.
Yes, it is.
Now, maybe it's a little brutal, but maybe it's time to start getting brutal so people understand there are consequences for your actions.
You know, all law enforcement will be thrown under the bus every time this kind of crap kind of happens, unless you're the FBI, because they're connected at the hip with all these treasonous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So, OG, I'm not too sure everything that's going on with law enforcement right now, if it helps us or hurts us in the legislature. I'm just trying to figure that out, because law enforcement is being bashed everywhere, including in the state legislature. But yet, we still have those that are going to back law enforcement no matter what, even when they're wrong, they're going to back them. And right now, we've got opposition to those bills we were talking about. We've got oppositions to it. And so, we have to work extra hard to get these bills through, because there certainly is opposition by law enforcement to this, even though they know they're wrong.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the closest we've ever been with open carry to get it on the governor's desk.
Right.
This is the absolute closest, because last 2-3 sessions back it was a horrible failure. Didn't even make it out of committee.
Yeah.
Now you got some real potential to have it on the floor and on the governor's desk, and the only way that's going to happen is if everybody possible in Texas calls their representative and starts raising hell, and on top of calling the representative, call Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, because he has control of that Senate floor.
Yeah.
So, if you want to make it happen, it's all on you now, because it's never been this close. And if it fails, it'll be because everyone sat back and said, oh, well, let someone else do it.
Exactly.
I think I see Geezer on there.
Yeah, he said if he didn't make it here, he was worried about it raining.
Oh. Geezer's getting soft on
Yeah,
us.
he's getting soft. He'll get out on that motorcycle with it 19 below, but not if there's a sprinkle. Just kidding with you, Geezer. So anyway, yeah. OG, what I did, I took all the crap up there down now. I don't have our logo and stuff up there, and I forgot to push the record button, so that means I've got to record this afterwards. Crap. It's always something, everybody. It's always something.
Well, you did take a week off, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about the new CDC mask rules,
Oh,
whatever you want to call them. So they come out today, everybody, and they tell you, hey, if you've had both vaccines or the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, that you can You can take your mask off outside. You can maybe even take your mask off in other places, other events, riding a bicycle, stuff like that. It's crazy, everybody.
I'll tell you something even crazier. I went to Home Depot yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, first I went to Lowe's because I had to return something and pick up something I'd ordered. Everything was cool. They don't have the signs up front anymore that says you got to wear a mask. You can walk in. Now you got some people running around with masks on because they're afraid, and they think that mask is doing them good, and that's fine. That's their choice. My choice is to not wear one. So I got to go over to Home Depot and check for something. And we're late.
Yeah.
So I'll do it right after.
We're going to get some phone calls over that one.
Right. I go over to Home Depot, and out front's this huge sign says everyone is required to wear a mask in the store, even if you have been vaccinated. Now, what the hell kind of a statement is that? Does that mean they don't believe the vaccinations are any good? Or, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell Home Depot is thinking about, or what moron or morons they have running that company that would post a sign that has something that's stupid on it. But at any rate, I walked in without a mask on, went back, checked out what I wanted to check, talked to a store clerk or two without a mask on, and then I left, and nobody said crap to me. So, whatever. It is what it is. But, I would suggest if you go to Home Depot, disregard the sign because it's stupidity to begin with.
Yeah. Let me say this, everybody. If the vaccines work, if they work, you don't need a mask. You don't need a mask. If they're not sure the vaccines work, they need to tell us. But right now, that's not what they're saying. But yet, they want you to wear a mask in certain situations. Matter of fact is, they sent out this damn thing, this sheet right here. I'll post that in TexasBikerRadio.org. I'll post that so you can see it.
Now,
it's the most asinine damn thing I've ever seen, OG.
There is a private school back east that is saying to their faculty, staff, if you get a vaccination, you can't work here anymore.
If you get a vaccination.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
We have gone, I'm telling you, this country has gone snowflake crazy.
And Biden is going to get up and explain that here at some point. He's trying to take credit for every bit of this, for every bit of it. If it's successful, he's going to take credit for it. But if it's not successful, he's going to blame it on Trump.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, the potato head is such an ass, is such a crazy lunatic, and OG, take it away.
Okay, we're 15 minutes late. I apologize to some groups out there that have been waiting.
Yes.
But we're ready. Here's the message. The Beagle has landed. The Beagle has landed. That's
I know
it.
what that one is, and that's cool as heck. We're going to have to get us a timer to time 15 minutes when we start.
All I can say is watch the news.
Watch the news, everybody. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Hey, there was a deal on YouTube. Professor Toto, I've told you about him.
Yeah.
He's the preacher that is just raised all kinds of hell. He's been thrown off YouTube again and again, but he has a deal of what happened in the last 48 hours of Trump's presidency. And I suggested everybody go watch and listen to that. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting what happened. And, you know, and he does call Mike Pence a Judas. That he threw us all under the bus. Not Donald Trump. The American people is who he threw under the bus. The Constitution is who he threw under the bus. Is what he did. But OG, we still have an audit going on in Arizona, and that thing is kind of interesting because they do not give up in Arizona. They are not giving up. They're going to get that audit done.
Now, once the audit's done,
yeah,
are they going to, if they discover a lot of shenanigans, illegal votes, are they going to declare their elections null and void?
That's going to be
do 'em
interesting.
over?
That's going to be interesting to see what they do.
That's
It really
really
is.
that's really what ought to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Hey, do you believe what the media is reporting on Biden's approval rating? I mean, I'm sorry, everybody. The potato heads ratings. You think any of that's true? It's all BS.
What pisses me off is not so much that it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
What truly pisses me off is they think we're that stupid
That is true.
that we're going to believe the garbage that they're feeding us.
Yes.
That's what I find insulting as hell and what really enrages me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Wow. You know, when did it become acceptable to just lie your ass off all the time? All the time. The media, the politicians, the president. When did that become acceptable? You know, they always say, you know, hey, you know, go ahead and tell the truth and get it over with, and you know that way you're going to feel better about it. But not this group. They're going to lie and lie and lie and lie some more to get their way, and to have their way with us. That's what this mass BS is talking about. And OG, now what they're doing is they're talking about problems in foreign countries. Not here, in foreign countries,
Yep.
Bangladesh. Now, who wouldn't know that would be a disaster? I mean, did anybody watch Slumdog Millionaire? I'm just saying, everybody. They've got poor people by the millions that are living in slum conditions that do not have access to health care and probably no access to the vaccine. And you know, in those countries, they're going to take care of moi first, is what I'm saying.
The ruling class gets taken care of.
That's right. That's just like we saw our ruling class being taken care of, and they're still doing that. They're at the trough every day. Every day. And now they're talking about raising taxes. And OG, they said, well, it'll be only on the people over $400,000 going to have these high tax rates. BS, everybody. BS. Because that's not going to be enough money, and they're going to have to go down
Yep.
eventually to us.
First thing you're going to do is overtax the people that have hired you.
Yes.
The people that have had the initiative to start a business, a small business, and we all know the greatest population of employment in this country is through small business. Companies like Ford Motor Company, GMC, they have a plethora, hundreds of small companies out there that are making small components to put those cars together. And the problem you get into is once they start taking tax advantages away from small businesses, the first thing they do generally is they cut advertising and they cut labor, because that's expense that goes to the bottom line. So they're going to start cutting labor. So these businesses are going to start diminishing. They're going to pay less tax than they pay now. And the government is going to say, oh shit, what do we do now?
Oh, yeah.
And now they're going to go after the smaller portion, or the smaller guy. And they're going to drop that down. And I'll guarantee you're going to have a hefty tax rate if you make $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Hell, they already tax unemployment. They tax Social Security. What the hell else are they going to tax?
Yeah.
They can't tax anything else. All they can do is start increasing it, and that's what they're going to do.
They're eventually going to get around to us, because there's not going to be enough money for the things that they're talking about doing. And let me tell you, there's going to be other taxes other than that tax. Oh, yeah.
Remember the luxury tax?
Oh, yes.
You went to buy a boat, you buy a car.
Oh, yeah. I bought a boat.
Yeah, you're going to pay a luxury tax, and it was 10%.
Yeah.
So and it's hard not to spend 30, 40 grand on a car now. So now you're going to spend another minimum $3,000-$4,000 on a car.
Oh, gee, they were doing the yacht industry including aircraft, private aircraft sales.
Yeah, they just about stopped making yachts.
Yeah. So these morons don't think about what they're doing and what they're going to do. And believe you me, this climate change BS, that's all about getting into our pockets. That's not about climate change. That's BS. It's about taxing us. And it's about taxing people around the world and letting other countries off because they're not going to participate. Can you say China, Russia, and a bunch of others, but yet we're going to fall in line with the EU, another bunch of morons.
Well, the latest Biden crap is he's pledging we're going to cut our emissions by 50% by 2030. That has all kinds of ramifications.
Yeah.
Now, I can't even begin to understand how they're going to try and enforce that, other than to start putting hellacious taxes on stuff like gasoline. They even talked about getting rid of meat.
Oh, yeah. Getting rid of meat, everybody.
The average American will be allowed no more than 4 pounds of meat per year, which breaks down to a 1/4 pound hamburger once a month. Now, there are lunatics out there. If we let them do it, that's what they're going to do to y'all. Now, Popeye and I were talking at lunch today. Thank God we're old enough. We probably won't be around by the time that nonsense starts.
That's right. And we enjoyed our beef at the barbecue place.
Yep, we went to Cooper's, and we had lots of meat.
Yeah.
And as I was sitting there looking at that, I looked over at Popeye and I said, can you imagine somebody taking all of this away?
Yeah.
But, they talk about stuff like the idiot that owns Microsoft buying all the farmland. Yeah, Bill Gates buying up all this farmland so he can raise, he can make meatless hamburger patties.
This lunatic is pushing
Yeah.
all this.
Now, I don't know if you've ever tasted a meatless hamburger patty. I have.
I have
I did once or twice,
a Boca burger.
and I'll tell you, I want no part of it.
A Boca burger. Go try one. And there are others
Yep.
besides that one.
But so, you might think it's ridiculous about the 4 pounds of meat a year per person. But I'll tell you what, for those of you that are old enough that can think back to your childhood and the liberties that were afforded during your childhood, I go back as far as when you could buy a firearm from a catalog
Yeah.
and have it shipped to you with no paperwork. You could go down to an Army-Navy surplus store and buy a .45 for $20.
The kids in Duncanville, which is just south of Dallas, in the 60s, could drive their pickups to the high school with a gun in the rear window, with a rifle.
Yeah. So if you think about all the liberties and the things that were done years ago and what you can't do today and the way the noose is tightening around everyone's neck, and look at the acceleration that the liberals have gotten into. They're no longer doing it slowly.
Yeah,
Hell, Biden can't sign executive orders fast enough.
exactly.
They're doing their damnedest to try and get D.C. in as another state. And now that's being pushed even before Puerto Rico.
They tried that without going through Congress.
Right. Now, the good news is some of those blue states just lost congressional seats
Yes.
because of the census. And states like Texas, there were all the red states picked up
Yeah.
congressional seats. What we have to watch out for, and I plan on getting into this conversation, because when you're running around and you bump into people and you get into conversations and you find out they just moved here from California, maybe some of the things we ought to talk about. Now, you have to do this carefully, but you might want to get into a conversation and say, oh, that's interesting, you're from California. Dare I say you're a registered Democrat?
Yeah.
Now, you understand the reason you left California is because of the idiotic government that has taken control there.
But wait, everybody. There's hope, and I'm tickled to death that they've verified the signatures for that recall on Governor Newsom. And, hey, baby, he's going to be recalled. And so there's going to be a new election, and this is their chance to send a message to the politicians in California that the citizens have had enough of the bullshit. And I do believe that's going to happen because, like you said, they're losing political power when they lose those seats. They are in real trouble with the asinine things that governor has been doing, along with the Michigan governor, who also, Michigan also lost a seat. Ohio lost a seat. West Virginia lost a seat, but that was for economic reasons, not for political reasons.
Right. That's always been a pretty poor state.
Pennsylvania lost a seat. So, Republicans are gaining while the other side is losing. And this is good for the next election cycle. We got to be ready to rumble, is what we got to be ready to do. And so think about that. Think about that. Hey, one more thing. What do you think about John Kerry and his latest treasonous act?
John Kerry should have been hung or shot years ago.
Years ago.
For some of the crap that he pulled when he was in the Navy.
Yes.
And the crap he has pulled since he has entered the political life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how his wife lets him get by with the crap he gets by with. Because all that money that he has is actually his wife's money.
Exactly.
It's the Heinz 57 family.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, now, maybe he gets her some fat government contracts on ketchup.
He may do it.
Maybe.
I mean, they're all crooks and thieves.
Yep. It's just like Pelosi's husband.
Yes.
He gets all kinds of political favors.
Yes, he does.
You can go right down the list of every family, of every corrupt politician there is out there, be it a son, daughter, husband, or wife. They are all benefiting from the family being in politics.
Exactly. We see it again and again and again. And that's the reason I'm leery of voting for anybody where they're trying to make politics their family business. And we have plenty of that going on here in Arlington. We really do. And here in Texas in general. That politics is their business. And so, we have to be really careful about who we're putting into office. And so far, from what I've seen, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We got our congressional district, OG. We got 26 people, or about 20-something, I think it's 26, running for the 26th district.
Wow.
It's insane. But it's their prerogative to run. So we're going to have to sift through all this and see if anyone gets 51%. Going to be kind of interesting. Let's put it that way. And one last thing, OG, the post office spying on us. Did you hear that one?
No, I hadn't heard that one.
The post office is out there spying on us. Now, they're supposed to deliver the mail. But evidently they've decided that the post office can be useful in spying on us. So it's an incredible thing.
Yeah, did they mention what they're doing?
No, but we'll talk about in the next episode.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. But I just found out about it today. I just ran across it. I didn't have time to really dig into it. But we will. We will.
Well, I know, like, I get mail from the Heritage Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I get magazines from the National Rifle Association.
You know what? That may be what it is.
And that could be putting me on a list.
They may be pinpointing us.
Yep. That I would be some kind of a conservative right-wing nut.
Yeah.
Because of the Heritage Foundation, the NRA, Gun Owners of America. Could be.
Well,
I might end up with one of those dots on my mailbox.
That's better than a dot on your forehead.
Right.
Yeah. Good Lord, everybody.
What do they say? Aim for the blue helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible what we see going on out there. And, all the people, and I do have to believe this, everybody's sitting back and they're watching this. And they're all going, what the fuck? Even those on the Democratic side, as they see gas start to go up, as they see things start to happen, and all the goofy ideas they have, and they're pushing it. And they're going to push it, I believe, too far, and I think they already have. Nobody wants this. Unless you're a Black Lives Matter group.
Well, I just saw one of the people online talking about there's been a lot of BLM activity over in Fort Worth.
Really?
Which I'm kind of curious about. I'd like to hear a little more about that.
Send us that information.
Maybe we could get the guys to rock and roll.
Yeah.
On a ride over if we know there's going to be something somewhere.
Yeah. So that would be interesting to see what's going on and how police deal with it here. Because once you let them have control, they've got you by the balls, everybody. And if the city politicians, I'm talking about the city council, the mayor, if they let that run and tell the police to go to the sideline, I don't know, everybody. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know the people in these neighborhoods are not going to put up with any bullshit. They're not going to do it. They'll stay silent to a point. They will. And like I said, everybody's watching this BS. Everybody's watching it. And I do believe the people will do the right thing in the end. I do believe that. And everybody, it's been a rough couple of weeks after my surgery. They put me on some damn medicine that just about did me in.
Yeah, it wasn't the medical thing that happened to you. It was the medicine that damn near did you.
Yeah.
So,
I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stand up. It was horrible. After they first did the surgery and put the stent in my neck, then I was okay for a couple of days, and all of a sudden everything started going south. And so one of these days, we'll see that medicine on call 1-800. It'll be listed, call 1-800-THE-HAMMER.
Well, what I thought was quite interesting was the medication you got put on. A rep from that pharmaceutical company called you like 3, 4, or 5 days after you were prescribed that medication and wanted to know how you were doing, and of course you gave him an earful.
Yeah, I did.
But I thought that was a little unusual because now my wife has been on a fair amount of meds, and a lot of other people out there I'm sure have been too, and that is the first time I have heard of a rep from a pharmacy calling somebody that's been prescribed a medication, which tells me they may have some concern.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So it was interesting, and it was, let me tell you, it was horrible for a few days. It really was. And they wanted me to stay on that medicine, and I made a command decision and took myself off of it.
Smart move.
And went back to the other medicine that I'd been taking 20 years. There's a certain risk to that, but hey, I couldn't function, everybody. But you know what? I'm on the mend, everybody. We'll be back on my bike soon, and out there raising hell. Got anything? Oh, we have to close with that, right?
Yeah. We have one last message to our troops out there. The Beagle has landed. The Beagle has landed. Now go take care of it.
like like OG said, watch the news.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Anything you want to close with?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Hey, you guys, let me see who's over there on the chat line, if I can get the mouse over there.
See, Vegas from Tennessee.
Wait a minute, we'll go up here to the top.
Okay. No, Vegas came in late.
Yeah, I don't know if Joshua Snyder's here. He sent me something earlier. David Jones, how are you doing? Jack Harding, Randy Russell, Grey Wolf.
Well, we got Club Fit 2018 from Canada.
All right. Rebecca. I don't even know how to pronounce that, Joe. Anyway, Rebecca. McFatrick? I hope I said that right. Mater's Workshop. I always get that right now. Jerry, I think I said that before.
Yep.
Glenda West, how are you doing? In God We Trust. Geezer, we see you, Geezer. So I think we've just about gone through everybody that's there. They have been having a good time talking. Yeah, they've been talking it up. Randy Elser, did I get that?
Yeah, Vegas.
Oh, okay. Neo Payne, how are you doing? Martin Nicholson, how are you doing? And so you guys...
That's Rook.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I have you here to correct me on all this. Yeah. With that, everybody, if you don't have a motorcycle, buy one.
And ride with us.
That's right. Come ride with us. With that, everybody, have a great evening and a great weekend. I'll probably be back on before the weekend. We'll be talking about what the frick the post office is doing. Just saying, everybody. With that, we're ending the stream. Bye-bye.
Good night.